Welcome to today's Explainer lecture, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled to see you all here. So look, as a technology researcher, I spend a massive chunk of my life looking really critically at the digital systems we interact with every single day. And today, today we're going to put on our absolute most skeptical lenses because I want us to examine that digital world you casually unlock, dozens of times a day. We're talking about billions of people picking up their phones and literally unlocking a portal to a landscape that is meticulously, intentionally designed to keep us hooked for as long as humanly possible. But honestly, how often do we actually stop to ask what's happening behind that glass?
Right. So let's just dive straight into this with a pretty skeptical premise. When billions of us enter a system that is built from the ground up to absolutely maximize our engagement, we really have to ask who or what is actually being consumed here. Because we totally tend to think we're the ones consuming the content, right? The videos, the memes, the life updates from friends. But what if the real product isn't the content at all? What if the real product is literally your attention? Okay, so here's our syllabus for today's session. First up, we'll look at how the real product is you. Then we'll get into neurobiology and variable rewards, followed by the attention span problem. After that, we'll tackle highlight reels versus reality. And finally, we'll wrap up with how you can reclaim your digital boundaries.
All right, let's jump right into section 1. The real product is you.
So before we can even begin to understand what's happening to our brains, we got to peel back the curtain a bit. There's this incredibly stark contrast between the tech industry's reliance on these massive engagement systems and, well, your fundamental need for mental well-being as university students. Think about it. Corporate profit goals dictate that these platforms make their money by serving ads, period. That means their ultimate absolute imperative is maximizing your screen time and creating this loop of infinite engagement. But on the flip side, what do you actually need to be a healthy, productive student? You need deep focus, you need extended periods of concentration, and crucially, you need a natural stopping points to just rest your mind. So as you can see, these two goals are just completely fundamentally at odds. And you can see exactly how this conflict plays out in the software itself. Just take the infinite scroll. I mean, we've all been there, right? Swiping down, 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 with fresh content just seamlessly loading forever. Look, features like the infinite scroll, they are definitely not accidents of programming. No way. They're highly deliberate mechanisms engineered specifically to remove literally any friction that might make you think, hey, maybe I should close this app. Back in the day, if you were reading a newspaper or watching a TV show, there was a natural stopping point. The infinite scroll completely eliminates that. It directly serves that corporate goal of infinite engagement, and it just totally overrides your brain's natural biological signals to stop.
Which brings us perfectly to section 2, neurobiology and variable rewards.
Let's shift gears and talk about the actual biological exploitation going on here. Because the true underlying engine of social media is this concept called variable rewards. It's basically a psychological conditioning system where the reward for an action is totally unpredictable. Think about when you pull down to refresh your feed. Sometimes, meh, nothing interesting. But other times, you pull to refresh and boom, a wildly engaging post or maybe a flood of likes on your latest photo. It's this exact unpredictability that keeps you constantly guessing. And wow, does it profoundly impact your dopamine levels. Actually, it's the exact same neurobiological mechanism that makes slot machines so wildly addictive. The platform is basically hijacking your brain, keeping you constantly on the hook, just waiting for that next unpredictable hit of dopamine. And this builds into a vicious psychological cycle that you probably experience, multiple times an hour? Let's use a super relatable real-world example, social media notifications. Okay, so first you get the trigger. Your phone buzzes or maybe the screen just lights up. Second, and honestly this is the most fascinating part from a neurobiology standpoint, you get the reward anticipation. Just that mere buzz of your phone triggers a massive, massive spike in dopamine simply because you are anticipating a reward. This happens before you even know what the notification actually is. And then finally, you get the content reveal. And the crazy thing, whether that content is actually a good reward or not almost doesn't even matter anymore. That initial dopamine spike has already done its job. It's trained your brain to just absolutely crave that trigger.
All right, moving right along to section 3, the attention span problem. So now that we kind of get the neurobiology behind all this, we need to look at the very real fallout on your academic productivity. And look, recent research findings make this crystal clear. Our cognitive abilities are taking an absolute beating. The attention economy basically demands constant context switching. Picture this. You're reading a textbook. Suddenly your phone buzzes, so you check a message, then you try to switch back to the book, but wait, you suddenly remember an email you need to send. It's exhausting. This rapid toggling back and forth is literally exhausting for the human brain. The end result? A drastically reduced baseline capacity for deep focus. So if you've been finding it harder and harder to just sit down and write a paper or read a dense chapter for an hour straight without feeling this overwhelming, burning urge to check your phone, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. What we're witnessing is the literal rewiring of the modern mind.
This takes us to section 4, highlight reels versus reality.
Because, unfortunately, the damage doesn't just stop at our attention spans. These platforms absolutely thrive on social comparison. They are constantly pitting the highly curated highlight reels of everyone else, the amazing vacations, the perfect grades, the totally flawless photos, against your actual, messy, unedited reality. A reality that comes complete with everyday struggles, bad hair days, and that late-night study panic. When your brain is stuck in a loop, constantly comparing your messy behind the scenes to everyone else's shiny highlight reel, well, the mental health effects can be incredibly severe. We're talking about significantly increased anxiety and depression right across student populations. And that brings us to this deeply tragic result that researchers actually call the loneliness paradox. All of this engineered social comparison creates a situation where we are, without a doubt, technologically more connected than any previous generation in human history. I mean, you can instantly message literally anyone, anywhere on the planet. Yet studies consistently show that young adults today feel profoundly more isolated and lonely. It's like we're trading genuine, authentic, messy human connection for these shallow, perfectly quantifiable engagement metrics.
Finally, we arrive at section 5, reclaiming your digital boundaries.
So given all of this systemic biological exploitation, how do we actually survive this landscape and reclaim our focus? Well, I want you to do a quick self-reflection activity with me right now. Just take a second to evaluate your own digital habits. Honestly, when you pick up your phone, do you usually have a specific intention in mind? Or is it just an automatic twitch? Seriously, ask yourself, who is really in control of your device right now? Are you using the app to enhance your life, or is the app using your neurobiology to enhance its profit margins? Okay, let's make this actionable. We're going to do a super short group exercise right here, right now. I want you to turn to your neighbor. Yes, literally right now. Just quickly turn to the person sitting next to you. And I want you to commit to one specific, hard digital boundary that you are going to establish today. One rule to protect your mental well-being from those corporate engagement algorithms. Maybe it's putting your phone in a totally different room while you study. Or hey, maybe it's finally deleting that one app that just causes you anxiety. Just speak it out loud to make it real. Go ahead, I'll wait a second. Awesome. Now, to help support whatever boundary you just set, I want to leave you with a few research-backed tips for managing your digital habits. These are absolutely crucial for better academic productivity and your overall mental health. First up, manage and ruthlessly limit your notifications. Turn off all non-essential alerts. You have to stop letting those artificial dopamine triggers dictate your day. Second, actively avoid the infinite scroll trap. If an app doesn't have a built-in stopping point, create one. Set a timer for yourself. Third, reestablish natural stopping points in your daily routine, like simply deciding, okay, no screens during meals. And finally, fiercely prioritize your deep focus periods. Guard your attention like it's gold, guys, because it is literally your most valuable intellectual resource.
I'm going to wrap up today's explainer with one final vital thought. As you pack up your stuff today and step back out into that very digital world, I really challenge you to ask yourself, can we use social media without being used? Challenge yourself to be the user, not the product, because now you actually understand the neurobiology at play here and you see the corporate goals that are actively working against your focus. The power to break this cycle, the power to reclaim your modern mind, well, that starts the very next time you reach into your pocket. Thank you all so much for giving me your attention today. Now make sure you go out there and keep it for yourselves.